Hello, Megboard. My name is Juan Anonimo, and I have been asked to give you a little video presentation of my sense of spiritual journey and call. So I just want to be real brief and say that I do feel called to serve God. That is a recent call in my life. I grew up in Chicago on the west side in Humboldt Park, had a childhood that was fairly uneventful. My parents loved me very, very much. I grew up with two brothers and one sister. Our life in life in Chicago was just great. But when I got to high school, I began to experience a little bit of trouble with some friends that were using some drugs, and we got into a little bit of trouble every now and then. Fairly unmotivated in life, but not bad. I was a pretty good kid. Our family was were Roman Catholic, so we went to church on I don't know, maybe every 3 or 4 months, always on Christmas and Easter, of course. But for me, life began to take some real roots and some real direction when I graduated from high school and decided I needed to do something with my life. So I went into computer engineering and got an associate's degree at Truman College in Chicago and was able to land a job pretty much out of college doing some web development and network installation. Around that same time, I met my wife. This was 2006, Maria. We got married, and Maria, who I knew from high school, and I have been friends for a long time. Um, we had two children together. Not had, well, we divorced. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Um, but Emmanuel and Elise, we both love them very much. But well, church was certainly not a big part of my life when we got married. It increasingly became so as Marie's behavior became a little erratic, and she began to get involved in some heavier drugs. We both recreationally used marijuana and drank, but all of our friends did. We didn't see anything bad about that, and wasn't destructive to our life from our perspective at the time. But Maria began to get involved in some heavier drugs, and um, I was trying to find some help with that. I turned to our local church, happened to be a Free Methodist church, West Side Free Methodist in Chicago, and the pastor helped me a lot. Um, I gave my life to Christ with an altar call in 2006. Changed my life, began to give me some real perspective on how it is that I could raise my kids and try to love my wife. She didn't see things that way, and we tried to do some counseling. The pastor suggested it, and we went through that. But she actually felt what she viewed as my overbearing ways at that point, trying to have the family go to church, as destructive to her lifestyle. And she began to get involved in heroin and began to get involved with her dealer. So she actually moved in with him and had a relationship with him that was extremely difficult for the whole family. Um, I knew as a follower of Jesus that it was really hard, that getting a divorce was wrong, and I knew it would be very, very hard on the kids. But the influence that she was having on their lives was just um, too difficult. So I didn't divorce her, but certainly when she moved in with her boyfriend, there was, from my perspective, not much more we could do. So I moved. I moved with the kids in Chicago, and after a year, she filed for divorce, and that was in 2010. Still rather recent, but probably the right thing. Uh, as a Christian, I have a little bit of anxiety about that. I don't think it's the right thing, but I really saw it as extremely important to protect my kids, and I didn't see much hope in the marriage after uh, what she was engaging in on a regular basis. So I kind of moved on. The pastor was very understanding at Westside Church, gave me an opportunity actually to get involved in the church a little bit more, which I thought was surprising because I figured once you had a divorce, things were, you're a pariah in church, things like that. It didn't happen. Um, Quite the opposite, as a matter of fact. There was a lot of support from the church there. In fact, I don't know how I could have raised my kids without the church. That bottom line, my extended family became Westside Church. I work, by the way, about 30 hours a week, 20 or 30 hours a week for a web firm not far from where I live, so it's very convenient. The kids are school age, so they go to school. So it's worked out that I've actually had a little bit of time to spend with the kids after school and to volunteer for church. So that's worked out real well. Anyways, in 2011, I was doing some work with youth in the church. The pastor asked me to do was youth work, and I developed a youth group. There were about 6 kids, and now there's about 30 or so, and pretty excited about that actually. Uh, but but this one moment, it was just an amazing, crystal clear moment for me. One of the things that I do with the kids a lot is we bring them out to help once a month at 3 of the various elderly centers that are in our neighborhood. So we have permission from HUD to do that. We go and we do minor repairs, and it's an opportunity for the kids. HUD is the housing authority in Chicago. We have the opportunity to do repairs and then interact with the seniors. Well, one day after we were doing a painting job, I had a group of about 6 teens with me, and we finished painting. And it was with an elderly gentleman at his apartment, and we ordered pizza afterwards. He paid for it real nice. It was kind of fun. And then all of a sudden, I just felt like the Holy Spirit came on me and said that I really need to tell him about Jesus. Well, I did. I told the story of the gospel, what Jesus had done for me, delivered me from drugs and from addictions, and helped me get my head straight despite living in kind of a screwed up world. And not only did he give his life to Christ, but so did Tanisha, one of the teenagers that was with us. And I thought she was a Christian this whole time. And it was almost like a voice from heaven speaking to me. It said, I need to stop selling air, it's web space. I need to stop selling air and do something more meaningful with my life. And this was it. I need to be a fisher of men. So, um, I shared that with my pastor. I felt like that was a real Holy Spirit movement. I had taken some classes, by the way, Bible classes at Moody College, and I learned a lot about the Bible there. Not nearly as much as I need, I know, of course, um, but I didn't have a whole lot of experience with the Holy Spirit, and having this kind of an experience really actually kind of spooked me, but it was powerful too. So I talked to the pastor about that, and we prayed about it, and he thought that perhaps I should pursue considering ministry. And when I think about that, when I think about what God said to me at that moment, um, I'll have to admit I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's the case. I'm pretty good at what I do with web development. It just leaves me empty. Um, the kids have a lot more fun when they're with me at church, and I get to hang out with the teens and things like that. So here I am. That's my life journey, my spiritual journey, and I'm hoping to pursue pastoral training and ministry. Um, Whatever the next steps are, I'm hoping you all will help me figure that out. All right. God bless you. Peace out. One Anonimo. Saying bye.